South Korea has taken an unusually direct step in the highly competitive world of modern fighter aircraft development. Instead of relying on broad estimates, promotional language, or vague cost ranges, Seoul has allowed clear and specific pricing figures for its newest combat aircraft to enter the public domain. This move, while subtle, carries significant strategic weight. It sends a message not only to potential buyers, but also to rival defense manufacturers and regional air forces carefully planning their next generation of combat aviation. At the center of this development is the KF-21 Boramae, South Korea's indigenous fighter program designed to bridge the gap between fourth-generation platforms and the expensive, stealth-focused fifth-generation aircraft that dominate headlines today. As the KF-21 moves steadily toward full-scale production, the conversation around the aircraft is no longer theoretical. It is now grounded in real numbers, real timelines, and real operational intent. For many air forces, particularly mid-sized militaries across the Indo-Pacific, this matters deeply. Fighter procurement is no longer just about raw performance. It is about sustainability, long-term affordability, and the ability to maintain credible air power without overwhelming national defense budgets. In that context, South Korea's decision to openly associate capability with cost may prove to be one of the most important aspects of the KF-21 program. Modern fighter programs are typically cautious when it comes to pricing transparency. Costs are often hidden within large acquisition packages that bundle aircraft, weapons, training, spare parts, simulators, infrastructure upgrades, and long-term maintenance contracts. By doing this, manufacturers maintain flexibility while avoiding direct comparisons that could place their aircraft at a disadvantage. South Korea, however, appears to be charting a different course. Figures discussed within South Korea's defense analysis circles indicate that the KF-21 Block 1, optimized primarily for air superiority missions, is expected to cost approximately $83 million per aircraft. The more advanced KF-21 Block 2, designed as a true multi-role platform, is projected to cost around $112 million per jet. These numbers are not being presented as distant projections. They are emerging as the program prepares to transition from development and testing into full-scale mass production, beginning in 2026. At that point, the Boramae will no longer be viewed as an experimental platform, but as an operational fighter ready for both domestic service and international export. This clarity immediately positions the KF-21 in a very specific space within the global fighter market, one that is neither at the low end nor at the extreme high end. The KF-21 is not designed to compete head-to-head with aircraft like the F-35 purely on stealth technology. Instead, it represents a carefully balanced approach to modern air combat. South Korea's strategy emphasizes a mix of survivability, advanced sensors, network-centric warfare capability, and cost discipline. This approach reflects lessons learned from decades of operating advanced Western fighters, while also developing domestic aerospace expertise. The result is an aircraft that incorporates modern low-observable shaping, advanced avionics, and sensor fusion, without the extreme cost escalation seen in fully stealth-optimized platforms. By publicly linking pricing to capability levels, South Korea is effectively telling potential buyers, "This is what you get, and this is what it costs." For air forces that must justify procurement decisions to governments and taxpayers, that level of transparency can be highly attractive. The KF-21 Block 1 variant is primarily configured for air defense and air superiority missions. Its role is to secure airspace, intercept hostile aircraft, and operate as the backbone of national air defense networks. For the Republic of Korea Air Force, 40 Block 1 aircraft are scheduled for production and delivery between late 2026 and 2028. These jets will replace older platforms while working alongside existing advanced fighters, creating a layered and resilient air combat structure. Despite its relatively moderate price point, the Block 1 variant incorporates capabilities that were considered cutting-edge not long ago. These include a modern aerodynamic airframe with reduced radar signature shaping, an indigenous AESA radar developed by Hanwha Systems' advanced mission computers, and sensor fusion compatibility with beyond visual range air-to-air missiles, a digital cockpit optimized for situational awareness. At around $83 million per aircraft, the KF-21 Block 1 undercuts many frontline Western fighters in acquisition cost, while still delivering a highly capable air defense platform. For air forces whose primary concern is airspace security rather than deep strike missions, this configuration presents a compelling option. In today's strategic environment, the cost of a fighter aircraft cannot be separated from its long-term operational burden. Acquisition price is only one piece of the equation. Maintenance costs, upgrade paths, spare parts availability, and life cycle sustainability are equally important. South Korea's pricing disclosure suggests confidence not only in the aircraft itself, but also in its production efficiency and long-term support framework. By setting expectations early, Seoul reduces uncertainty for potential buyers and positions the KF-21 as a predictable, manageable investment rather than a financial gamble. This approach resonates strongly with countries that face multiple security challenges at once: maritime defense, air defense, disaster response, and internal security, while operating under finite budgets. The KF-21's value proposition becomes even clearer when viewed against the backdrop of regional air power modernization. Across Southeast Asia and the broader Indo-Pacific, nations are upgrading their air forces, but not all are pursuing fifth-generation stealth fleets. Instead, many are looking for fighters that can integrate with allied forces, operate within modern sensor and data link networks, carry a wide range of weapons, remain affordable over 30 to 40 years of service. The Boramae is designed precisely for this environment. It is modern without being prohibitively expensive, advanced without being logistically overwhelming. And this is where the KF-21 story begins to intersect with the strategic considerations of countries like the Philippines. While the KF-21 Block 1 establishes the Boramae as a credible air superiority fighter, it is the Block 2 variant that fully reveals South Korea's long-term vision for the program. This version is not simply an upgraded model. It represents a deliberate evolution of the aircraft from a national air defense asset into a flexible, export-ready multi-mission combat platform. With an estimated unit cost of approximately $112 million, the KF-21 Block 2 occupies a strategic middle ground in the global fighter market. It is more expensive than traditional fourth-generation fighters, yet significantly more affordable than many Western aircraft once full weapons and support packages are included. The key question, however, is not whether Block 2 costs more than Block 1, but what that additional investment delivers. One of the most important aspects of the KF-21 Block 2 is what does not change. The aircraft does not undergo a radical redesign. The airframe, engines, and core aerodynamic structure remain largely consistent with earlier variants. This is a crucial detail because it limits production complexity, controls costs, and ensures commonality across the fleet. Instead, the price increase reflects a layered expansion of capability, focused on mission systems rather than physical structure. Block 2 transforms the KF-21 from a primarily defensive fighter into a true multi-role aircraft, capable of executing a wide range of missions across air, land, and sea domains. This approach mirrors the development paths of some of the world's most successful fighter platforms, where software, sensors, and weapons integration gradually unlock new operational roles over time. A defining feature of the Block 2 variant is its enhanced air-to-ground strike role. While Block 1 retains limited strike functionality, Block 2 is designed from the outset to conduct precision attacks against land-based targets. This includes the integration of advanced precision-guided munitions, allowing the aircraft to engage hardened targets, infrastructure, and mobile threats with high accuracy. These capabilities are essential for modern air forces, where precision and collateral damage control are as important as raw firepower. By enabling deep strike missions, Block 2 allows operators to move beyond defensive postures and project power when necessary. For countries facing complex regional security environments, this flexibility can significantly enhance deterrence. Another major expansion introduced in Block 2 is maritime strike capability. In an era where naval power and sea lane security are increasingly contested, the ability for air forces to threaten surface vessels has become a strategic necessity. The KF-21 Block 2 is designed to integrate anti-ship weapons and maritime targeting systems, enabling it to operate effectively in coastal and open sea environments. This makes the aircraft particularly relevant for nations with extensive maritime responsibilities. By combining air superiority, ground strike, and maritime attack roles into a single platform, Block 2 reduces the need for specialized aircraft fleets. This consolidation directly supports cost efficiency and operational simplicity over the aircraft's service life. Beyond weapons integration, much of the Block II upgrade cost is tied to mission system sophistication. Modern air combat is increasingly data-driven. Victory often depends on who sees first, understands the battle space faster, and coordinates more effectively across domains. The KF-21 Block II benefits from deeper sensor fusion, allowing data from radar, electronic warfare systems, infrared sensors, and off-board sources to be combined into a coherent operational picture. This reduces pilot workload while increasing situational awareness. Advanced data links enable the aircraft to operate as part of a networked force, sharing targeting information with other aircraft, naval units, and ground-based systems. This capability is essential for joint and combined operations, particularly when working alongside allied forces. One of the less visible but most important elements of the Block II upgrade is software maturity. Unlike earlier generations of fighters, modern aircraft evolve continuously through software updates rather than physical modifications alone. Block II's mission software allows for expanded weapons compatibility, improved electronic warfare performance, enhanced threat libraries, greater interoperability with allied systems. This software-centric approach ensures that the KF-21 remains relevant as new threats emerge, without requiring costly redesigns. It also allows operators to tailor the aircraft's capabilities to their specific operational needs. At first glance, the jump from $83 million for Block I to $112 million for Block II may appear significant. However, when viewed through the lens of capability expansion, the increase is more measured than it seems. The additional cost reflects multi-role mission readiness, broader weapons integration, enhanced sensors and software, and greater long-term operational flexibility. Importantly, this pricing still undercuts many competitors offering similar multi-role performance. It also avoids the steep cost escalation associated with fifth-generation stealth platforms. For air forces seeking a balance between capability and affordability, Block II represents a pragmatic solution rather than a compromise. While Block I primarily serves domestic air defense needs, Block II is clearly designed with export markets in mind. Its multi-role configuration aligns closely with the requirements of air forces that must perform diverse missions with limited fleet sizes. This is particularly relevant for countries that cannot afford separate fleets for air superiority, strike, and maritime operations. By offering all three within a single platform, South Korea increases the KF-21's appeal as a cost-effective force multiplier. Additionally, the aircraft's architecture allows for customization based on customer requirements, including weapon choices and avionics preferences, further enhancing its export viability. In the global market, the KF-21 Block II sits between traditional fourth-generation fighters and high-end stealth aircraft. It does not attempt to out-stealth fifth-generation platforms, nor does it rely on outdated avionics or sensors. Instead, it competes on value per capability. This positioning allows South Korea to engage buyers who want advanced performance without committing to the financial and logistical demands of stealth-heavy fleets. It also reduces political and operational dependencies that sometimes accompany Western defense acquisitions. As the KF-21 Block II comes into focus, its relevance to the Philippine Air Force becomes increasingly clear. The Philippines faces a complex security environment that includes airspace defense, maritime domain awareness, and regional deterrence. A multi-role aircraft capable of addressing all three areas offers strategic flexibility without overstretching limited resources. The Block II's balance of capability, cost, and growth potential aligns closely with long-term modernization goals. This is not simply about buying a fighter. It is about investing in a platform that can evolve alongside national defense requirements. As the KF-21 Boramae moves closer to operational service, its relevance can no longer be assessed in isolation. Fighter acquisition decisions are rarely about a single aircraft's performance. They are about trade-offs between cost and capability, ambition and sustainability, present needs and future growth. For the Philippines, these trade-offs are especially critical. To understand why the KF-21 has emerged as a serious contender, it must be measured against the alternatives that are most often discussed in regional defense planning. Only then can its strategic value be fully appreciated. The F-16 Block 70, also known as the F-16V, is frequently cited as a benchmark for modern fourth-generation fighters. It is combat-proven, widely operated, and supported by a mature global logistics network. In terms of raw capability, it remains a formidable aircraft. However, capability alone does not determine suitability. While headline figures sometimes suggest a unit cost well below $100 million, real-world acquisition tells a different story. When purchased as part of comprehensive packages, which include weapons, pilot training, ground crew training, spare parts, simulators, infrastructure upgrades, and long-term support, the effective cost per aircraft can climb dramatically. Recent negotiated deals have shown that fully supported F-16 Block 70 packages can approach or even exceed $250 million per aircraft. In some cases, total program costs translate to figures nearing $279 million per jet, when everything is accounted for. For air forces with extensive budgets, this may be manageable. For the Philippines, such costs represent a significant strain, particularly when weighed against other modernization priorities, such as naval assets, radar systems, and airbase upgrades. Another frequently mentioned option is the JAS-39 Gripen EF. Designed with efficiency and network-centric warfare in mind, the Gripen is often praised for its advanced avionics, electronic warfare systems, and relatively low operating costs. Yet acquisition cost remains a challenge. Recent international contracts indicate that the Gripen EF's unit price, when bundled with support and weapons, typically falls in the $140 to $146 million range per aircraft. While lower than some F-16 packages, this still places the Gripen firmly in the premium category. Additionally, the smaller global user base can raise long-term concerns regarding economies of scale, upgrade costs, and supply chain resilience, factors that matter greatly over a fighter's 30 to 40-year service life. It is important to recognize that direct price comparisons between fighters can be deceptive. Aircraft are rarely sold alone. What matters is not just how much a jet costs today, but how much it will cost to operate, upgrade, and sustain over decades. This is where the KF-21's appeal becomes more apparent. South Korea's approach emphasizes controlled growth, rather than delivering all capabilities at once with a steep initial price. The Boramae evolves through blocks. This allows operators to align spending with strategic needs and budget realities. For the Philippine Air Force, life cycle cost is arguably more important than acquisition price. A fighter that is affordable to buy but expensive to maintain can quickly become a burden rather than an asset. The KF-21 is designed with maintainability and upgrade efficiency in mind. Shared components across variants, a modular avionics architecture, and an emphasis on domestic and regional supply chains all contribute to long-term cost control. Equally important is upgrade sovereignty. South Korea has demonstrated a willingness to work closely with partners, offering greater flexibility in customization and future enhancements compared to some Western suppliers. This flexibility can translate into significant savings over time, while also allowing the Philippines to adapt the aircraft to evolving operational requirements. Since late 2025, discussions between the Philippine Department of National Defense and Korea Aerospace Industries have reportedly focused on the potential acquisition of around 20 KF-21 Boramae fighters, with a target timeline aligned to the aircraft's production ramp-up in 2026. While official details remain limited, the strategic logic behind the talks is increasingly clear. The Philippines is not simply looking to replace aging platforms. It is seeking a sustainable air combat solution that can defend national airspace, contribute to maritime security, and integrate with allied forces, all without overwhelming defense budgets. The KF-21 fits neatly into this framework. Across Southeast Asia, air power modernization is accelerating. However, not every country is pursuing fifth-generation stealth fleets. Instead, many are focusing on credible, interoperable fighters that can operate effectively within joint and coalition environments. The Boramae's design reflects this reality. It emphasizes connectivity, sensor fusion, and multi-role flexibility rather than extreme stealth optimization. This makes it well-suited for regional security environments where cooperation and deterrence matter as much as technological edge. Another key factor is interoperability. The KF-21 is designed to operate alongside allied platforms, sharing data and participating in network-centric operations. This capability enhances deterrence by signaling that the aircraft is not an isolated asset, but part of a broader security ecosystem. For the Philippines, which increasingly conducts joint exercises and security cooperation with regional and global partners, this interoperability is a major advantage. South Korea's decision to publicly associate the KF-21 with clear pricing figures sends a strategic message. It signals confidence in the program's maturity, production readiness, and long-term viability. This transparency also contrasts with the often opaque pricing structures of other fighter programs, giving potential buyers a clearer basis for planning and decision-making. The KF-21 Boramae may not be the cheapest fighter on the market, nor the most technologically extreme. It does not promise invisibility, nor does it rely on decades-old designs. Instead, it offers something arguably more valuable in today's strategic environment: balance. Balance between cost and capability. Balance between ambition and realism. Balance between present needs and future growth. For air forces like the Philippine Air Force, such balance is not a compromise, it is a necessity. As the Philippines evaluates its options, the KF-21 stands out not because it dominates performance charts, but because it aligns with strategic reality. It offers modern capability without unsustainable cost, flexibility without excessive complexity, and growth without dependence. In an era where defense decisions must endure for generations, the most rational choice is often the one that can be sustained, adapted, and trusted over time. And in that sense, the KF-21 Boramae may represent not just a fighter aircraft but a strategic partnership for the future of Philippine air power.